Okay, War of the Rohirrim. Why am I talking about a movie nobody watched or cared about 8 months after it came out? Well, I guess I'm that much of a Tolkien/fantasy nerd and lover. It was pretty okay. Like, that's all I can really say about it. Like, first of all, I think the story has a lot of potential to be told well, like a lot better than this. But this was I don't even want to say by the books, just kind of half-assed. The art style was beautiful, but the animation itself, it was like very choppy, like surprisingly so, and you definitely notice it more in like sweeping shots and things like that. The narration felt forced, it just felt out of place. I guess they had to bring back Miranda Otto as Eowyn. Like, it just randomly comes in and out and kind of takes you out when she starts speaking. But voice acting as a whole was fine. For the most part, I'd say pretty passable. Like, there's a lot of intense emotions, but it's a lot of yelling, and I feel like there should be more subtlety to some of the performances, especially towards the end. Like, I find it kind of hard to talk about this movie when overall it's just okay, which I guess when you think about why they made it, like, they only made it to keep the rights to Lord of the Rings. I guess that's pretty passable, because I guess it would have been more heartbreaking if they went into this with actual love and it turned out like this. There is a great movie in here. Like, we know very little about Wolf and Hera's relationship. Like, they're childhood friends, and we only get like a 5-second flashback of that. Like, no, I want to see more of that. Like, and I want to see more between King Helm and that dude at the beginning. Like, why are they beefing? Like, what's going on between Rohan and these guys, which I think are also Rohan. I think they're like the Dunedling or something like that. Like, leave it up to Tolkien to just have the same sounding words and names for different things. And then it kind of drags towards the middle. Like, I want to see less of that middle portion and more just fleshed out of the overall story. I feel like they should have gone all out, like 3-hour epic with this one. I think we would have cared more for the characters and the story. But instead, what we get is like a half-baked, kind of incomplete, like half-assed film overall. And I gave it a 7 on Letterboxd because I really do love these kind of movies, especially within Tolkien. I mean, I haven't seen Rings of Power yet. I've kind of been avoiding that. But I just love the vibe and the art. Like, I'm a very vibes-based kind of person. And another disappointing thing was the music. Like, it just sounded so forgettable, so generic. Of course, they did use the Rohan theme, like, sparingly, which was kind of a disappointment. Like, you're making a movie about Rohan, so use the Rohan theme. It's right there. But they use it, like, once or twice in the beginning, a little bit towards the middle. Like, it's just here and there. And instead, we get this other theme, which I don't even know how to describe it, but it plays a lot, but it's just so boring and generic. It's like the movie was made without any music in mind, and then they're like, just put on just AI, generic fantasy music. Like, no, music was such a huge part of the Lord of the Rings. That soundtrack is one of the greatest soundtracks in movie history, in my opinion. And to follow it up with such a boring and generic and forgettable music was very disappointing. Like, I guess it was inevitable that this film would feel undercooked. Ultimately, they're pretty much adapting 3 pages of the appendices from Return of the King. And I read those appendices, and I'm like, well, there's definitely a story here. And the movie is fairly somewhat accurate. They did change some things here and there, but at the end of the day, it's only 3 pages. They really had to, like, twist and mend some things. But again, like, I feel like a lot was left out that should have been in here. And my thing is, if you're going to start adapting Tolkien's other works, like, why are you trying to cram 3 pages into a whole movie? Like, there's some incredible stories in the Silmarillion that I would love to see, whether in animation or live action. Like, Children of Hurin, or Beren and Luthien, or like the Fall of Numenor. And I get why they went with animation for this one. Like, it's obviously cheaper to make than live action. But, like, again, go all the way with it. Because the art style was beautiful, don't get me wrong. The animation itself is just super, super choppy and low frame rate. Like, sometimes it's even worse than, like, some filler episodes from Naruto, where, like, Hera's back is turned to the camera and she's giving a whole ass speech and we're just looking at a still image for like 30 seconds. Just moments like that. I'm like, bro, what is, like, is this a filler episode of Naruto? What's happening? And obviously, they're not gonna put in the amount of time and dedication as, say, like a Miyazaki movie, where those things are just so fluid. I don't know if he animates to the full 24 frames, but those movies are not choppy. Like, they basically shit this thing out in 2 years to keep the rights to Lord of the Rings, which is kind of cynical, but I'm not stupid. Like, the world is run on money, business, you know, so obviously they're going to try and keep those rights, so they got to make something. I would say this is pretty kind of like a step below The Hobbit. I'm kind of a Hobbit defender. I really do love those movies. They're not perfect, don't get me wrong. They definitely have their issues, especially with Battle of Five Armies, but I just love the world of Middle-earth and the music and like the characters and moments in The Hobbit. But War of the Rohirrim, I feel like it doesn't even reach the highs of The Hobbit, and the highs of The Hobbit are nothing compared to the highs of Lord of the Rings itself. So War of the Rohirrim is kind of a disappointment, but when you go in kind of expecting not much, it's alright. It's an okay movie. I do plan on getting it on Blu-ray and adding it to my Tolkien collection, which I'll probably make a video on that eventually. But man, it could have been so much more. Like we're dealing, it's essentially a Rohirrim civil war. Like, it can explore so many themes of like war, peace, and then there's like this kind of romance between Hera and Wolf. Not really, but you can deal with like feelings of unrequited love. Like, there's just so much to explore in this story, and what we kind of got was like a by the numbers, very surface level Spark Notes adaptation of 3 pages from the appendices, with choppy animation, boring music, narration that takes you out of it. You're like, oh, what? It's Eowyn again. I saw that the Blu-ray was like $30. I was like, whoa, how? This thing is not worth $30. I'm sorry. I'll probably still get it, but $30 is a hard ask for this kind of movie. Like, I think Nosferatu is just 17. Like, explain that to me. I would still check it out if you really love fantasy and Tolkien. Like, that's why it's just very passable to me. It's just fun seeing this world come to life one more time. I don't know why I've been avoiding Rings of Power. I've heard mixed things, but I do plan on watching it soon, eventually. But War of the Rohirrim, if you like fantasy and Tolkien, hell, if you like anime, I'd say check it out. It's not perfect, it's not the best, it's pretty passable and okay, but it could be fun.